far as cards go, which would you say was your least favorite card? If you had to pick one.
Well, now it would be Cyberstein. I don't like his effect. That is very annoying. But back then, I'd say my least favorite card at the time would have probably been one of the lower rate cards, one of the non-effect cards. Low attack and defense.
Normal monster.
Effect, yeah.
Continuing on with this interview with your least favorite card, go ahead and keep going with that.
Well, as I was saying, I particularly don't care for the normal monsters that were pretty low rate, 1, 2, maybe 3 stars. Those were quite annoying to me. I had no real use, and I seen no real participation of them in any kind of deck. I never really understood why anybody would even use them. I could understand why some people would put them in the decks, the kind of people that really just like to play,
Or the artwork on a specific card, like they had a real powerful deck, but just at that one card that was so out of place, that would always throw someone off. They'd play it their first turn and you were like, okay, what the hell are they doing? Right. And then suddenly come at you with everything else they got and you're like, what the hell did I just get hit with?
Yeah, it was like kind of a confusion attack. That I did like about quite a few duelists. There was a lot of people at the time when I was dueling that used a lot of confusion attacks, and they were really good. I have to admit, like I said, I love competition, and when people do something like that, it's just awesome.
And what's your opinion on Konami's ban list?
Could you re-ask? Change the wording for the question.
Chaos Emperor, Dragon, Blackluster, Soldier, Yatagarasu being banned. What's your opinion on Monster Reborn and other things like that?
So you're talking about the natural ban list?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to say this. It's honestly a complete bullshit list, in my opinion. Excuse my French for me saying it that way. I don't see why they're going to make a card and then outlaw it. What's the point in that? That's why I never went to an actual tournament duel, is because they had the ban list, and that I normally revolve my deck around all the ban cards. I love my ban cards. They're some really good cards. Monster Reborn is a very good card.
They actually unbanned that one.
Yeah,
it's now they've banned Call the Haunted and Premature Burial instead, which is even more bullshit because Call the Haunted you can only access your graveyard, and Premature Burial is the same situation, but you're giving up life points.
Exactly. That's kind of weird. I'm really not understanding why these people keep banning certain cards. At first, I understood why they would ban the Monster Reborn. I can understand that one. But I didn't approve of it because of how often I would like to use my Monster Reborn.
And duelists like me would actually agree with that opinion.
Exactly. Quite a few duelists would agree with me, and I'm not even really doing this to be a fan favorite. I'm speaking my personal opinion. I don't understand why they would ban a card if it's already made. Not only that, there's people out there that are like what I used to be, and use them cards, nothing but those cards. I'm the kind of person that I love the cards that are real good, real effective. Monster Reborn, and you got I guess Premature Burial. I use that quite often. I use United We Stand, Mage Power. I'm the kind of person that uses the really good, very hard to find cards.
Yes.
For some reason, those are just awesome.
Okay. Now we're going into a slightly different subject, and I want you to tell me if you remember this at all.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was never awarded this, but I have heard some stories about it. This was awarded to pretty much the best duelist in Pontiac. I never made it to that rank. I will admit I was one of the best, but I never made it to the top. I really feel bad about that. Like I said, I'm competitive, and I love competition, but I never made it this high.
This right here is actually the original title that existed in Pontiac. It was held by a duelist with the codename of Chaos until he was beaten rather senselessly in a triple threat duel by myself and Destiny, one of the founding members of PDL. Now, pretty much after Destiny won this title, it went largely unnoticed, and no one seemed to care about it after that, which is really weird. What are your thoughts on that? Was it political that they do that, or?
Well, to tell you the truth, I really don't know. I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but like I said, I was never awarded with that title, so I never really paid much attention to it. But if I had to say anything else toward it, I would say if you ever held that title, you had to be a pretty good duelist. Like I said, I never had the chance to win it. I never even went up against anybody that had it, to my knowledge.
Okay. This is the current incarnation of the title that you just held. The Pontiac Duelist League World Championship. What happened was that after Destiny won it, you know him as Brian Adams, we actually took the title and then formed PDL with it, since they weren't even acknowledging it, with our own rules set and everything. I would actually go on to defeat him on the 23rd of September 2005 and would hold this thing for 366 days until I was beaten by Dan Baker September 24th, 2006. What's your call on that one?
Well, I'd have to say, like I said before, I never made it that high, but I wish I could, because I would love to be able to hold a title like that. I would love to be able to hold the title of the best duelist in town, and then also would have liked to have made it on to be
This isn't just the town, though. This is the world. This title was actually made from the unification of 4 different duelist leagues. You have the Pontiac Duelist League from here in Pontiac, the Red Tail Hawks Duelist League, which is our only active duelist league still, and they are actually in Kappa, Illinois. You have the now disbanded and disgraced Kankakee Duelist League, which we got their titles after we found out they were pretty much bullshitting us. So we have made a ruling that all their title reigns before our acquisition are now null and void. And then you have the Mexican National Duelist League, which was through the internet me contacting another duelist who lived in Mexico, and he graciously loaned us their title for that unification match. It has since been returned to them. I have, though, been unable to contact him again, though. So he does have his title back, but this is the result, one of the 3 world titles. And it's still not too late for you to hold it.
No, I hate to rain on your parade yet again, but I'm done. I quit over 3 years ago and I'm done.
Could you by chance give us the major reason why you didn't quit doing it?
Well, honestly, I just gave up on it because I didn't find any excitement in it anymore. I used to find it one of the most exciting things to be able to play a card and know that I'm kicking the shit out of somebody, as said in another language. But honestly, that's the main reason why.
Anyway, I do appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to do this interview.
No problem.
Randy Smith, better known as Sagemaster, one of Pontiac's best duelists, and actually the only duelist in our Hall of Fame to have never held a PDL title in his life. I do appreciate you coming over.
No
Thank
problem.
you.